Welcome to the people that are in. I'm waiting for some more people to join. I'm not sure if, because normally I trade or at least stream during New York Open. So I'm not sure if a lot of people are available at this time, but we'll see. If you hear me, then it would be nice to get a confirmation if the sound works. I'm doing some pre-planning right now, what the levels are in case we break higher. And to see if some more people join, I'm not sure. And otherwise we just make it a quick one, but I have quite some interesting price action to discuss of today. All good. Great, great, great. Good to see you again, West de Vries. All good. Great, good to hear. And good to see you as well. Great, great, great to see people in the chat. Let's wait. Should I also announce it on X maybe? Uh, 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 uh. Well, why not? Why not? More people, more joy, they say. Although that's not always the case, but let's see. Yes. Well, that maybe. Okay. Well, I was just looking at the chart. I had also watched last few days because we have a very similar situation right now as we had with our last manipulation phase. So basically, what we know that we are in a high time frame downtrend since we made our high here 1, 2, 3. So there we formed the model 1 distribution, then started to trend down. Where basically every trend we made is from we trend down, so you pull your range from low to high, and every trend was basically a range with a 1, 2. So we deviated the highs and the low was unswept, and each time we broke lower. Then our last long range was this one, which was during November, where we basically did the same. So low to high, and then here we had one tap, second tap, and this so far is super similar to what we have currently, because here we also have like low, high, tap 2, and currently potentially tap 3 or bearish PO3. Here we had also tap 1, tap 2, here tap 3, and at this move, this one is super comparable to this one. Also aggressive move up, and then everyone started to short this move, while this was the higher low for the higher high. And at this point, everyone became super bullish, while everyone was cautious right here. And this was basically the PO3. It also stayed within the deviation threshold. So you can see that we stayed within that 0.25 fib level, then came back in the range and get that full on reversal. So basically right now we have also tap 1, tap 2. This was also where everyone expected this potentially to reverse already, while this was just the higher low for the higher high. And right now we are potentially in a similar phase as this one until proven otherwise. Then if we look to the liquidity that was built up here, it was super clean. Basically with this low and then all that liquidity from here. And currently we have the same. So since past 2 weeks, I was expecting the same scenario. So 1, 2, 3, new high, 1, 2, 3. Right now we have that. So now it's time to be, stay true to the potential bearish idea, because now this is where we either reject or we get a bigger reversal. But I still think that eventually we, like even if we go maybe to 80k, I still think this is going lower until proven otherwise. I'm ready to adapt to another vision, but for now, literally every range has been the same, just distribution range, and high time frame is still bearish. If we look at the daily, then like daily market structure is right here, all the way down. 12-hour is right here. So our 12-hour structure is basically here, low, low, lower high, lower low. So 12-hour structure aligns with that deviation threshold. So what we do here is super important. And tomorrow we have FOMC, which makes it even more important. Also because we have if we pull the fib from this manipulation high to current price, then price is currently hovering around that level. And oftentimes it can hover above it for some time, but then you want to hold it above, because if it flips below, then this is like deviation to trap traders. And then if you get that reversal, it can be a really quick move lower. So past weeks, I have not taken really any shorts, mostly been looking for longs, but right now I'm keeping an eye on the short development because it can potentially turn into swing shorts, which is always nice. However, don't forget that we have some demand levels. Welcome to the stream, by the way, Matt and Sudo. Sudo is asking how it goes with me in the Dutch. Het gaat goed, zeker goed. Ik ga zo meteen even Oh, I should not start talking in Dutch, of course. But what we have is we have this demand, which was front ran this Monday, and we are still holding bullish structure. So until proven otherwise, I remain bullish, but really open to the scenario that we take the highs here, and if we start forming distributions from here, then I'm super interested in shorts. However, as said in the video today, we are following the plan pretty accurately. So let's put this away, that away as well. So today when I made a video, we had like the Asia high, strong high there, and then London low, strong low. And then I said we have internal structure, low, lower high, lower low, lower high. And then this was our weak London low, which has a really high chance to be taken out during New York. So as I also said, like before looking for longs, I expect this low to be taken out into a stronger hour, which is around New York open, and then get that reversal. So we had that 1, 2, 3, got that push up, retest, and then my main expectation was to see price tap like the mid-range, and then basically start to form a range into FOMC. And so far we exactly have that. So we have basically a new range pool here with range high. Then this is the range low. This is the mid-range tap. And now we can watch this as a new range where this was like a local accumulation. So the pre-planning was nice. However, not every pre-planning is also a trade, because there was not really a structure confirmation to go long here. And as you know, I almost always want structure on my hand. So local structure to confirm an entry, or it needs to be like do or die zone. So then I can take a long with the stop a bit wider. But in this case, I could also see price take this liquidity into demand. So then I need to put my stop below here. And then it's just not worth it from a risk to reward perspective. So if we zoom in on the 1 minute, maybe on 1 minute, yeah, there was some structure on 1 minute. They can say you have 1, you have 2, you have 3. During New York Open, And then your internal structure is low, lower high, lower low. So based on the 1 minute, could have had an entry right here with the bullet balls. So that would have been an aggressive entry with stop below that low. And then I would target like here or like this 2R. So this could have been an entry. Definitely a more aggressive entry. You could play it because you have that 1, 2, 3. So yeah, then you basically play the model 1 or like the 3 drive, where your third tap is always the clean invalidation. But this could have actually been a trade. However, I was expecting more chop and I was not looking at the 1 minute. And on the 2 minute and above, this was the structure. So that was the main level I had marked with an alert. So the moment we broke that, I had marked out some demand that price came into. Because on that retest, price actually came into, what was it? 5, 3, yeah, so 3 minute demand right here. And actually mitigated that and then moved up. So we had to push above, then a retest. And this is where I was doubting to go into a long, but did not pull the trigger. It was also 2 minute demand and probably a fib level as well, but it's just, let's see for confluence. Yeah, like it came back in the 7-2, 7-8. So that's always also nice confluence. So this could have been a re-entry opportunity, potentially to get here in and then pull the trigger there. Stop loss still the same. And then aim for higher. Or wait for the internal structure here. This is on the 1 minute probably structure. Then the moment you break that back to bullish, right there, then this could also be like an entry, and then this be your stop for there. So there were actually quite a few entry opportunities. However, I took none of them because I was not really feeling it. And also the way price is moving up right now is, yeah, just in my opinion, bait to take out tomorrow. So my main expectation, which was since yesterday, is that this is our range to watch. And it's super likely that we're now gonna move into here, build liquidity to both sides, and that this is the more important range to watch. And then I always like to play it from there, where after your second tap at your high or your low, you get higher probability setups. So for now, for example, we are building a lot of sell side liquidity right here. So tomorrow there is definitely reason for price to take that out during the news event. Take out all these long positions, maybe accumulate and then reverse. Or if we first go to the highs, then look for distributions to form there. So just being patient, and also important that you don't always have to catch literally every move. Because yeah, often when it's obvious, then it's obvious. And if it's not obvious, if you are forcing it, then it often turns out into a bad trade. So right now, just observing this range, and I think we will range into it. Christina, good to see you as well. I hope you are you in the Discord already? I think so, or you are from X, but good to see you. And I will send you a message for sure. So this was BTC. Now I want to discuss the other trades because I missed quite a few setups today. We had gold, where we had the 1, 2, 3 model 1, like early in the morning. So when I woke up, I knew, okay, this is looking like a pretty good 1, 2, 3 model 1 with sell side liquidity created. And we had an internal breaker structure. So we basically had like high, higher low, higher high, higher low. higher high, higher low, higher high. So on the 5 minute, we even broke structure right here already. And then here we had also break structure. So at that moment, your model 1 is confirmed. And you can look for entries to short towards your technical target, which is the range low. So I add an alert at this supply. Then in the boarding, I got that move up into here, which I missed because my alert did not went off, or price just price just front ran my alert, which was here. But here we basically had low, high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, break. So the moment you break this upward structure, right here, that could be your entry to get into this short. However, here, because you don't have a super clean distribution, I would not personally use this as my invalidation, but then use like the supply. So then from an RR, it's not, yeah, still around 2R, but I was personally waiting for this to be the 1, the 2, and then price to make the 3 into supply and then distribute. So that you had a 3 drive, then break structure, and then that is your super clean invalidation. Because with supply resting above, you have a reason for price to take that out before going to your technical target. Then I saw price reverse. I was like, okay, this is probably gonna go without me. But then price took out this low, liquidity sweep, and started pushing higher. Again, front running my alert with literally nothing. So then I saw price reverse, and it was here. So again, pretty late. But also here we had some structure from the low up, so high, higher high, higher low, higher high, took us down, higher low, higher high. So then this break was the invalidation, was your reconfirmation, and then you could step in again. And then here, yeah, it's nasty that they front run supply by a little bit, but we filled the imbalance. So then here I would say, okay, I'm going to use that as stop loss. And then main target is the range low, which is here for 3.3R. And then I would take a big TP at this low because that's your obvious low. And price also took that out with a tiny bit and then pushed up. But right now it seems like it's rounding off. So I will not be surprised if this rolls over and then goes for the technical target. So these were two pretty clean trades could have been taken on gold. Did not take any of them because I was too late and my alerts did not went off. Either my alert went not off and I blame TradingView, or my alert was just a little bit too high. But I prefer to blame TradingView for this because they often don't let me get my alerts. So it's easy to blame them. Then we had hype, which was again a clean model 1. I was thinking like maybe tomorrow or somewhere this week I will make a full recap on hype with the price action we have seen because it's super clean. Like here we had a bullish period 3 or like a model 2, depends how you see it. Here we had a model 2 accumulation, and here we had a model 2 reaccumulation. And then right now we have a model 1 distribution. So if you want to learn Wyckoff, study hype because it's showing model after model after model. It's super clean. So here we had basically, let's clear up the chart. You are trending up, so then you pull your range from high to low. So you have range high, range low. Step 1, take out the high. That's your step 2. You can extend your range there. Price came back higher low, higher high, aka the classic 3 drive Wyckoff model 1. Then on the 3 minute we did not have structure, but on the 2 minute we had structure. So you can look, basically have high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Then here you have your break, bearish break structure, which is like, at first you sweep it, so then it's like a bit of a sketchy break still. Also because you have demand here. So this can also be like demand mitigation. But then you see that price comes up, and on the 1 minute, your last supply you have on your chart is this 1 minute supply. Then price taps into that exactly right here, and then breaks below this low again. So then this is basically your like breaker structure, where I would feel like, okay, right now we have this breaker structure. We came into the supply, we are breaking structure again. We took out every supply we have. So then I know this is clean to short, because if I take the loss, then it's just part of the game. Let's see where the value area high was. I've not checked that yet. Yeah, okay, but we're first bouncing from the value area high, so that's something to keep in mind. However, here I would have taken the short, and then you could say take the short after this break of structure here, or you look for a little bounce back into the supply. Let's say we just do it there. Then you could, in my example, I use this as my invalidation, but technically, because there's nothing above here, you could also use this, basically your tab 4, as invalidation, and then target the range low, which would have been a 3.7 R. Super clean Wyckoff model 1 distribution, like almost textbook. And there was a reason for price to go to the lows, because we have this super clean range demand where we broke out. So then price often loves to retest that before pushing higher. So also here missed out because I was too late when I saw the model. 3.7 R missed, unfortunately. And then I was looking for it to flow over into an accumulation, which it did, like a second tap. So now I want to see if we have a potential model 2. Let's say that this is mitigated. Let's extend this. Price stayed within a deviation threshold, so this is valid tab 2 to look at. And then I'm gonna look for demand POIs. Keep in mind we have demand below, so it could also turn into a model 1 by taking that low again. But I'm now more interested in seeing what we have down here. This is basically our extreme liquidity, so I'm gonna extend the range to that second tab. Gonna clean this up. So now I know this is step 1, this is step 2. Liquidity. Let's make it a trend line right there. Then this is the extreme liquidity. And we have demands. We have 5-minute demand. This is for my autistic view. Then do we lower something? No, this is good. So main POIs, like price is already coming up quite high, which is unfortunately for the long idea I wanted to play. But it can still happen that price forms like lower high right here, then comes back, and then this is the first POI to look for a breaker structure for the model 2. The demand here is the second one, and the third one is a model 1 into that demand. So I'm gonna put my alerts for what they are for what they are worth. So one right there for the extreme liquidity sweep for model 2, into demand 1 for the extreme demand mitigation for model 2, and one below right there for a model 1. So then hopefully the distribution had the purpose to mitigate demand and then flow over. However, the only way I'm interested in playing it is if we give again a liquidity curve like this with a slow pullback. Then I'm interested in trading it. And then this can just continue higher because high time frame structure is. Do we have structure here? Yeah, so price SFP'd the low. So model 2 is more likely than a model 1, but model 1 can also still happen. To maintain the hourly structure, which is basically low, high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Oh look, higher high, higher low, higher high. So hourly structure actually broke to bearish. So that's interesting. Do we have 2 hour? 2 hour was also broken. So what could, where we also need to take into account is that we can potentially even look for a short from here as well. Let's see, what did price leave behind? A lot of liquidity right here. I'm also gonna create a new alert right here and right here, because this is basically the extreme liquidity at the high. And then there might be a short if we push up. Take that extreme liquidity to see it like kind of a 1, 2, 3 extended distribution, model 1 into model 2. That could also play out because we broke 1 hour and 2 hour market structure to bearish. So definitely keeping an eye on hype, and alert me please if we take out the highs or the lows, because I don't trust my my alerts anymore. Let's look at the chat quickly. I see a lot of new names, which is also very good to see. Welcome everyone. What is my thesis on alts? I don't have a really clean thesis on alts. I just trade local levels, and I have a small watch list of altcoins. I basically almost only trade BTC, ETH, Hype, Solana, and Tau. I trade them. Besides them, I don't have a super clear vision on alts. Any thoughts on ESNQ? Yeah, I will watch it in a minute. I haven't watched it today. DD, for entering at boss, do you follow the rules? 2 candles need to break for entering, or just 1 candle closing beyond the rule? I use the 1 candle. So I know some people use the 2 candle rule. I use 1 candle if it's a good break. So let's say this is our structure. High, low, high, 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 low, high, high. Then for me, 1 candle below this low with a good close is good enough. But if it's a wick, then I extend my level to that wick low. And then that wick needs to break again. The overall 1 candle for me is enough, but it needs to be a good break. So like, if this is the candle, then I don't say, okay, it closed below, so it's a break of structure. No, it needs to be like a good close. Good close below, then 1 candle is enough for me. I started putting back up alerts on CoinGecko. Yeah, maybe that's that works better, because it's super annoying to not get all of them. Only English. Well, I also speak Netherlands. Petit peu français. Een kleine beetje Deutsch. But overall English. Because everyone can understand English. So, okay. Then we discussed the potential BTC trades, the potential gold trades, the potential hype trades, which now combined we are already at like 7R potential trades. And Tao was another one I had my eyes on, but also front ran me. So I would say that today is a bit unfortunate, but I was already planning to not really take any trades. But in hindsight, I was checking. I was like, shit, I could have made like at least 7R today if I took the trades. But what we had on hype, range high, range low, deep, second tap, but it closed within. So then this is just tab 1, this is tab 2. Then I saw price move down here. So basically low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. And I was looking for that sweep of the low into demand, just right below the range for a range, just an uptrend continuation. So my alert is still rating here, like 26975. But I was aware that we had like also an internal range, which you could pull because internally you are trending down. So you could say this is your low, tab 2, where this is basically your range, where this is your tab 1, this is your tab 2, and then this is your tab 3 right here. So that's why I also in the Discord shared the view from 1, 2, 3 right here with this drawing. But I wanted to see that low be taken out. But like watch this, we just did not took out the low and instead broke basically back to bullish right here. Bullish pulse. We can look, did we had like local value area in our confluence? Yeah. So you have your break of structure and also break back in your value. So then this could have been your entry. Stop loss, third tap, which then basically that tap right there. And then main target is your local range high right there, which is also the start of this liquidity trail. So that would have been a 2R with the potential to run higher because I think this supply can get retested. And because you are overall in a high time frame uptrend, you could also look for a runner to the high for almost a 5R. So this was also a missed trade, unfortunately, because I was waiting for the range low sweep. But at least good to see the models play out. But that was, I think that's everything. So we had hype, Tao, BTC, gold, total of 9R. ETH. No, ETH is exactly doing what I imagined, which was forming this range and then just chop around. Oh, it was actually an internal. You could pull your range from this low to that high. And then this was basically like a sketchy 1, 2, 3 with a break back in the range right there. But yeah, not worth trading as mentioned in the Discord because you are basically at your mid range right here. So as I expect BTC to chop around in this range going into FOMC, I expect ETH to chop in this range. Range low, range high, range low, mid range. And then just look for a high probability play would be to take out this sell-side liquidity into this demand right here. If you then have your breakout structure, look for longs to the highs. Or look for distributions at the highs. Just the usual playbook. Welcome, Slatan. Good to see you. You mostly a day trader or do you invest swing trade stocks? I'm 95% a day trader. I love to be in a trade and also be out the next or the same day or like a few days. But mostly like lower time frame trading. Sometimes, yeah, when the market provides it, swing trading. But mostly interested in just investing a bit in crypto, and for the rest, just day trading. And then when I close the charts, I just take my time off, and then the next day I look for new trades again. That's what works best for me. Not really deep into stocks, to be honest. What do you think of the internal 3-minute boss on Tao and that Rimsey on that? Do you think on that internal 3-minute boss on Tao and that Rimsey? Let's see which one. The bullish break we just discussed. You sound like a Dutchman, yes. Probably sound like Van Gaal. But yeah, I'm Dutch. As almost all. Do you mean the 3-minute boss? This one? Yeah, 3 minutes. Yeah, so you broke it bullish from left to right. And then basically you broke it. This was already your mitigation. So this is like super low time frame. But it technically is like your rims you need. Push out. Then this is where you retest your range into this local demand and then push higher. Clean rims on the demand lower with 3 minutes. Oh, wait. This one. Ooh. Yeah, this is why I added Tao to the watch list. Mitigation. So this is your mitigation. And look, what you even have on the bottom. Absorption. Then like this doesn't make a new low. Else you had the breaker structure here. This is now your breaker structure. Bullish boss. Breakout. Retest. Continuation. Super clean. So then this was like if you pulled from here, then I would say, okay, enter here. Technically your stop loss can be there if there's on the lower time frame nothing left. Otherwise stop loss there. And then runner towards that internal high at least for 4R. Super clean. And especially like this is what you want to see. And that's amazing. So yeah, super clean. So that's why I added Tao. Also because it's like the AI play. And I have just BTC, Hype, Tao, few good pairs. And I have to focus on. Saw that on Tao, but BTC too unclear for me. Yeah, BTC was basically I expected BTC to chop around, but alts are like Hype doesn't give a fuck about what BTC does, and Tao is also pretty like living its own life. While for example, ETH and Sol are just replicas of each other and very similar to BTC. But Tao and Hype are like pretty independent. So if they offer you like clean models, then you could still trade them. How long have you been trading? I've been in crypto since 2017 and like started full-time trading when I was I think like 2019. but I thought I could trade, but I just made a lot of money being lucky early in the market, and then I lost everything. So then I had to go back to work, and then I picked it up again, or at least I never stopped. And now being full time back into trading since 2024 or so, almost 2 years. But being active, like trying to learn trading since 2021 or so. Um, Let me have a look at the ES for Matt. So yeah, ES has been like in this trying to roll over, but failing to really break lower until last week, where we actually started losing some important levels. And from there we started this new range low, range high, where early in the week we had a super clean Model 1 distribution, which was here with the internal breaker structure right there. And that sells out liquidity. And that took out, started pushing lower. And it front ran the low. So we had demand, what was it? Yeah, like 1 hour demand. Price tapped into that on the weekly open. And now price is around the mid range. So basically I see it just as range low, range high, mid range. And right now around the mid range. So not really, really, this is a place I usually don't trade. Just mid range, not my zone where my edge is. But I can look if we have some. Let me put on the indicator to make it easier. See if we have some zones. So we left a OBIM behind right here. Yes, people, when I can be lazy, then I am lazy. This indicator does not show everything, so you still need to know when is it valid, when not. Because this does not show range demand, for example, but it shows you all OBIMs, which is pretty handy. Supply right there. Then on the lower time frame, I'm not really interested. Maybe this one. Demand, clear that. So then this is basically my range with the levels I would be interested in. But I always want to preferably trade the range extreme. So wait for extreme premium or extreme discount and not diddle in the middle. Or it needs to be super clean in the form of like a tree drive or a distribution internally. But right now I don't see anything. Looks more like from the low up we are pushing up right here. We are around this important high, so maybe if we come back here and then do this and kind of form like a tree drive, that I will then potentially be interested in shorts. But overall, this is a zone I'm not interested in trading it. And yeah, I said for BTC, I'm pretty sure this will be our range. And then from there, it will be super interesting. We have bullish, and Q has a bigger range. Let's quickly look at the NAS. So it's still in the same range. Yeah, this is the range I'm watching on NAS. We also have low, high, tap 2, tap 2. And then this being the range. But also this one is around the mid-range. So pretty similar view. Okay, let me show you guys about the stats. So tomorrow we have FOMC, so probably a lot of chop. So we have to see if we get some trades. Today I missed a few trades, which could have been nice winners. But last week was one of my better weeks, so I'm not feeling too bad about it. But let's have a look at the weekly stats, because we have bullish weekly stats. Low chance to take out our weekly low, and super high probability to make a new P2. So that means that we either make a new high or we take out our weekly low. Our weekly low is right here. So weekly low right there, a weekly high right here. And there's like combined, what is it? Around 95% probability that we take out either the high or the low. But for now, the low is stronger than the high. So based on that, you could say if FOMC doesn't do anything too weird, we have a higher probability to maybe take the low, go back to the highs, and then form the high later in the week with potentially a then very good reversal, which is often like later in the week. So that this is then our tap 1, tap 2, tap 3, or it can be even more extended because time-wise we are now only Wednesday. But oftentimes when you get a reversal, the high gets formed on Friday or on Sunday. And as shared before, if this is a bearish PO3, then let's show you here. And often the deviation is in relationship with the duration of your whole range. So for now, this is a pretty like small in time duration. If we compare that with, for example, here, you can also see that when was it, like Tuesday? Yeah, like last PO3 was like a week that we spent above it. Let's see exactly. It's like 5 days and 5 days. So if we look at our current one, basically from here, it's like 1 day. So if we have a similar range, and it could take like a few more days, potentially till Friday or Sunday, and then get like this, maybe I'm interested in longs from here. And then from here, if we get that sweep of the high, that's when I'm gonna be super, super interested in swing shorts back down. All the way to all this sell side liquidity, but that's only the start. Because technically you can go just like last time, go back to the start of your local range. Because this is like looking super, super similar. So definitely an interesting week ahead. So let's see how that plays out. For now, I think everything is clear. Missed some nice trades, but next time we will catch them. And for the rest, expecting more chop, hype, potential shorts at the highs, longs at the low. Eat in a range, looking for longs at the lows, shorts at the highs. Solana, yeah, mainly looking for shorts at the highs and this demand for longs. And Tao, I think it's gonna take out this high to complete that local model 1. Look into supply, but yeah, it could be a short from here, but otherwise also looking for price to take out that high. Or in case we take this high and then come back slowly again, then look for longs after taking this demand, in which this tab goes away, because then you have tab 1. This is internal, so it doesn't count. Then if you get tab 2 here, then you get a bigger accumulation. So those are the plans for the next few days. Any questions? Otherwise, it's time to end the stream. See, it's incredible how we have been getting models almost every day. Yeah, definitely. But if we really search for it, there are almost every day there are models. You just need to know where to look, and oftentimes zoom in, because on a low time frame you will almost always find the model. Like this was basically also just a model 1. However, here you had not really good structure. But I believe even this high, which was this night, was also a model. But then you have to be on the low time frame. But look what you have. Range high, range low. 1, 2, 3. Model 1. Break. Then this is like very locally because it's 1 minute. But it's showing exhaustion and absorption, that sellers are taking control here. So then let's say you take this is your stop. Then here you can literally catch the top, which is already 5R to your local sell side liquidity. So if you just know where to look, and most important, know where to, or at least keep your calm, then you have trades everywhere. You just need to stay calm and know when to look for them and when not. If we combine forces and especially share alerts with each other, then we will have we will find trades literally every day, or at least multiple week, on all these assets. So I'm looking forward to the future. For the people that not are in the Discord yet, yeah, decide for yourself. But there's no reason now to not join anymore, because you can now join through the Bytunix bot. You need to make 50k trading volume, but that's including leverage. So like for most people that should be easily doable, or a deposit of 500, and then you get automatically added to premium, or just pay a little fee a month to not have that struggle. But like this is only the start, but a lot more is coming. So and also I really like the vibes with the people in it and everyone joining the streams every time. Same people in the chat. Really appreciate it. So thanks you guys for the good vibes, and I wish you all a good evening, at least here. And for the other people, a good day. And then tomorrow we have FOMC. So let's see how that will play out. Thanks, guys, and cheers.